that that 6 minutes you have there is not the original. Maybe it's just enhanced, you know, by technology, a higher resolution, and that's why it's 500 megabytes. Sorry.
But you spoke about the relatives of some of these hijacker, and there is some relative
Of Zia Jarrah. Yeah.
that is told that the death is different from the death officially.
Well, that's corroborated by the evidence that he was at the hospital visiting with the family, other relatives, and then it's
They want to
corroborated.
give DNA.
They offered their DNA,
But they want to prove that the
but
death,
they cleared their son's name.
the death is different from the death. The relative is different from the death. No,
I mean,
I
Mi vogliono mostrare
You
che
mean-
il DNA del figlio non è quello del...
well, you mean, I guess if you're talking about the dates that, I'm saying the dates are the same, that Jarrah's family had him in Lebanon, he was visiting his father in a hospital, are the same as the time when he was either in Dubai or coming back from Pakistan and Afghanistan. And the same dates that he was allegedly in Pakistan and Afghanistan, he was already, he's still at the Florida flight.
And so
flight school.
you think that should be necessary expertise on DNA of this person?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Necessary expertise on the DNA of the person.
Should be
Yeah.
it should need the expertise on
Well-
DNA in DNA of this person.
Well, by now, another thing which is problematic is that the government said that they took this DNA not from Jarrah's remains in the crash site, but from a collection of remains of the people, the other ones that weren't regular passengers. You know. And so it's possible that somebody else got in there to the apartment that was one of the other people, and you know, framed him. But it's still really shaky evidence, I believe. They should have gone to the family for the DNA, not to some place and say, oh yeah, there's DNA. You know. To me, the match with what the entire story seems very suspect by the FBI.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question
Yes,
from Professor
Mr.
Lee.
Mr. Kohler, I do appreciate the tremendous effort that is evidenced here in the work that you've done, but I have to respectfully suggest that because you skip from one alleged hijacker to another, and you skip from one kind of evidence to another, that you actually succeed in the goals of the government to cover it up, because it's too confusing. So I commend you for your work, but I desperately would seek to have some clarity, either by a clear narrative thread. This is the story of one hijacker, I'm going to take it through, or both, then say these are the 6 kinds of frauds that have been perpetrated, the 6 ways in which the data has been manipulated, and then, you know, make that your narrative thread. So I respectfully suggest that we, as the material now constitutes itself, it doesn't really give us any point of traction to work with.
Well, to answer that response, I have a lot more material on Zia Jarrah and his, you know, the evidence that he's been framed, the evidence that he has at least 2 different doubles, and there's a pre-story to that too, with another Zia Jarrah double that appeared earlier. But I didn't have time to present all of it in this presentation. I wanted to actually, I thought it would be better to get into for this presentation to show a multiplicity, and so you're correct on that point. I should have focused on him, and I actually did in the update to my chapter, but it's not possible to do that in a short presentation.
Thank you very much, panelists, and thank you, Jacob. We will now be breaking for 10 minutes, and do please come back to your seats in good time for our beginning of our next presentation.